folks, a Trace Monk here, playing some more Pillars of Eternity, and we need to talk to Durance. Yes, we do. Let's talk to him. Thought I felt your eyes on me. Now come the words. I had questions I wanted to ask
If doubts
you.
and curiosity plague you, you're skinning your knuckles on the wrong door.
Okay. I saw something strange.
Tell me what you saw.
It was like a flash. It was a flash like an explosion, a rushing of air incredibly bright.
It is the light of the Godhammer you saw.
The God Hammer?
It was a weapon of Deerwood's people, a symbol of their independence. It saved the Deerwood.
Okay. What do you know about it?
It brought the Saints' War to an end, knocked a god from his perch. There are few that would deny Aothis overstepped. The Godhammer reminded Aothis of it. You saw its light because I helped shape it, give it life, and release it into the world. Once seen, its glory is almost too bright to be believed, and too bright to be forgotten.
Helped build it?
There were 12 of us. We fashioned the weapon, drafted plans for it, prayed for guidance at Ashfall, and it came to me there. Each of us were given a staff made from the forest of black trees around us, glowing with embers and fire far greater than this branch you see now.
Oh, wait a minute. Durance was one of the 12 that the dozens named themselves after? Huh.
It felt as if the staff was Margaren's own finger, guiding my hand, guiding the other 11, the shadows of the 12 who had come to stand on the bridge to stop Aothis. Even in that stand, there was a ritual to it. For the 12 that stood on the bridge, there were a dozen shadows cast, a dozen faithful of Margaren, her fiercest supporters and shapers of the Godhammer.
Durance rests the staff in front of him, and the flame atop it curls for a moment, the light flaring slightly. It splits into a ring of flames, one after the other, until a dozen is met.
As 12 held Aothis fast, we 12 unleashed our prayers and let the Godhammer fall.
Then it blossoms brightly once and resumes its candle intensity. In the aftermath, the shadows seem sharper in the vicinity, as if they have edges, and you blink to clear your vision. Durance is still staring at the tiny candle-like flame intently. Maybe not one of the 12, but part of the group that helped them? I'm not really... Because it sounds like he's talking about two different 12 people.
Shadows cast by the fire of the Godhammer, perhaps. And we shared their fate as well in time. Now the spine of the Deerwood is marked by the Godhammer, marked by Margaret.
What do you mean by shared their fate?
Not all deaths come with stilled breath and stilled heart, or other stilled passions beneath the waste. Some deaths come from silence. The connection we once shared with Margaren, after the light of the Godhammer, it was not the same. It was as if we'd lost our senses, and sense of purpose as well. Instead of victory, being welcomed, there was silence, within and without. Not many can claim to have killed a god. It is less a heroic tale than you would think. And such a death, it changed our faith. All faiths, I expect. Doubt followed, and the world changed. I do not believe Margaren was pleased by what we had done.
Why do you think that?
The world is broken, the wheel stilled. There is sickness in the world's heart, Perhaps the price of crossing a god. Crossing two gods. Even as Margaret shaped our hands, perhaps we carried her will farther than was allowed. Just as Widewind did. Saint Widewind. Mortal arrogance to match mortal arrogance. Yet if the world had changed, then I sought to change with it. If I had forgotten some of Margaret's teachings, I would find them again. I would make her see me again.
Well, what did you do?
I remembered Margaret's teachings. How reminders on the flesh were more important than the death of a vessel. And I wondered if killing Aethys, if that had simply set him free. Had it allowed him to escape his punishment and be taken on the wheel? Like a mortal? As I stepped from the now blessed Godhammer Bridge, I thought of Ashfall. I thought of the War of Black Trees, wondered if I needed to be burned to find myself again. That is Margaret at her heart. At least that is my hope. These are the doubts that befall me.
Well, what happened after you returned to Ashfall?
The road to Ashfall is long, gives one time to think. And if you think long enough, you do not go home. I left without telling anyone, with only the robes I wore at Halgot, my staff, and my name, which is long buried. Of my fellow 11 craftsmen, disciples, I know not what happened to them, if they suffered the same doubt as I did. But it was underserved. It was wrong. We had done all that, or had asked. Grabbed victory from defeat and...
Do you feel as if you betrayed your god?
There is something about being used and cast aside. Perhaps Widewen himself felt it. There at the end, when the hammer struck. To be the proof that your god is hollow as the vessel it inhabits. I tried to find purpose, and avoided all contact with other Magranic priests. Did not seek the walls of Ashfall, and sought to make amends to my god through actions. I joined with the Purges for a time, and not long after came the first signs of the Hollowborn. So many crimes, trespasses, violations. The Salvation. Animancers were another sickness born of the Saints' War. A relapse of innovation, of desperation to heal what we had caused. All seemed worse than before the bridge, not better. And as years passed, the world became even worse still for the victory.
It doesn't sound like your goddess will ever forgive you. Sweat collects in the sooty creases of his forehead and runs down his ruddy cheeks. It drips from the tip of his nose. His mouth moves, but his utterances make no sound. He is for once at a loss. Feeling your gaze, he quickly composes himself, wiping his forehead with the back of a dirty hand.
Worship the whims of some fickle bitch, and you'll never be more than dirt beneath her feet. Worship what she worships, on the other hand. Take her fire for your own, and her esteem comes on its own. Of course, by that time, you no longer need it. Trial and transformation, sure as Durance taught. You think to put the coals to my feet, but what's burned once will never burn again. These talks are your trial, Watcher. You cannot deflect the truth to one who has already been purified by it.
We chose the bridge because we could control it. It was a place where we could choke Aethys in his own footsteps, where we knew his feet would fall. a narrow neck of stone. But it was more than that. It was a spine of the deerwood, symbolic of its backbone. Such symbols are important in the construction of a weapon. Any weapon. I suspect Aothas knew that as well, and so did his vessel in its arrogance. He intended to walk upon the bridge as if walking on the backs of the deerwood, and we intended to burn him with the light of our faith and his. 12 on the bridge, 12 in the shadow, and gave ourselves to it.
We put much of ourselves into the Godhammer. Such a device is not simply a machine. There are elements of the spirit in it. Even Widewind's spirit. We all studied Widewind. He was our enemy, and he had provided the flesh the god wore as a cloak. That flesh made him vulnerable. I knew what fields his hands had tilled, his family, what he had harvested, where he had been born. We sought to know him, what had led him to fight us. You don't kill the god, you kill the man it inhabits. And you leave that man a ruin, burn him to ash. The weapon was meant to not only burn his flesh, but it would burn his soul. And it did, at the cost of our own, and at the cost of our goddess's favor. That whore be damned.
Is that why your image is blurred? Perhaps your eyes were blinded by the Godhammer's light, Watcher. I may feel half a man at times, but even that is twice that of most others.
If you fear for my spirit, your fears are baseless. The Godhammer, seeing its light, only fueled my anger and made me stronger, made me re-examine the teachings of Margren, put them in a new light.
It looked as if there was only part of you, as if your spirit had been sheared in half.
I do not need you to cast any more questions on me, Watcher. Nor did I ask you to look upon me without my leave. Get gone, and leave me be.
Okay. Well, that's fun.
Huh?
Margren's fire casts light in dark places.
Let's see, I think... can we cross the river here? Okay, this is actually a river crossing. Oh, there's more beetles. Beetles, beetles. Let's see, yeah, let's move over here. Get these beetles over here. Get their attention. Give them just a second here. Oh, come on. Oh yeah, we'll wait for wherever that stone beetle pops up. Okay, endurance. Okay, now you whisper at that thing. It's not a very fast. Yeah, it's a slow spell. This right here, it's just a faux AoE, okay.
shall deal with this one.
Come on.
Yes.
What? Okay, so the body did eventually appear right there, but that was pretty funny. The body just kind of went, ooh. Crazy beetle.
Of course.
Ah, yes, more beetles. Okay. Like, okay, I'm just gonna go hide, but in the process, I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, do my own thing here. Let's let these two bury, and you can do your little treasonous whisper on that one. Endurance, finger. You're casting this. Yeah. Let's use those. I think everybody is doing something. Eder. Knock that little would-be below her. Let's yell. Drop a little bitty grimoire blast, arcane blast. Okay, you are not currently attacking anything. Actually, are you still casting that spell? Where are you? Oh, Grooving Mother's right there. I don't know why she's up in the middle of everything, but okay. Obvious. Run over there and attack the beetle. Okay, you guys go and attack that then. Okay, run on that beetle. Boy, that returning storm is really powerful. And we finished the bestiary on the stone beetles.
I'll see what I can find.
Okay. Let's quick save here. Touch these stone feet. Ooh, okay. You stand within what looks to be a ruined shrine. The moss-covered remnant of an ancient statue lies before you. Only the broken legs and feet of the sculpture remain. Long grooves alongside it suggest that it could be moved. Near the base of the statue, you discover a skull carved into the stone. Push the statue. Let's see. Push it yourself. Nope, doesn't budge. Let's see. Can Eder push it? Nope. What about Iravius? Probably not. Let's examine the skull. We're gonna leave this alone for them. Well, no, we're gonna come back to it next time. Dang it, Iravius. You need more athletics. But that's going to be the end of this episode, folks. Thank you for joining me. Please join me next time when we look at what's under here. See what we can find. Until then, bye-bye.